everybody, and thanks for joining me today. So working some more on the hills, sort of over the peacock's shoulder, I guess you could say. Yeah, some paler colors, but they're a little darker than just white and ecru, so I'm hoping you'll be able to see them on camera. Yeah, it's another gloomy day. I have lots of lights on because I usually try to stitch by natural light, but there is just not very much today because it is a very smoky one. So yeah, smoky and cloudy. So yeah, unfortunately, not much I can do about that. I will say that I did not start at 0. I'm starting at 143. So yeah, if you see a really impressive number at the end, remember I didn't start at 0 at the beginning of this project. Yeah, I have so far today not had a lot of luck with my threads. They're knotting a lot, so yeah, we'll see if they decide to cooperate or not. But they've been temperamental today. Yeah, it's another cold, gloomy day. So I did bake bread this morning because that always cheers me up. Yeah, so my diagonal's extremely steep. I just sort of have been going as far right as I can without extending past the edge of that already established bit there. So I did for a while, I followed the curve of the top of his wing, which slanted the other way, and now I'm kind of converting back to my normal diagonal slope. Oh, so in a group that I'm in today, someone said that if you slope your diagonal opposite the way you slope the top stitch of your X, the direction, that you're less likely to get lines in your work, which I didn't know. And I said, I guess it's just luck that's how it's always been for me. I slope my diagonals from the lower left to the upper right, and I do the top leg of my stitch the other way from the upper left down to the lower right. So it kind of just worked out that way. So I don't know how true that is, but yeah, I just thought that was a pretty interesting tip somebody gave. And maybe some of you would find it useful. Because yeah, like I said, a lot of people swear by crossing each X as they go, but I haven't really found that to make much of a difference. But like I said, I haven't had problems with tension, so yeah, it's funny. I was the same with knitting. Like, my work was very even right from the beginning, and I didn't know that that's something some people struggle with. Yeah, it was just like that from Legally Blonde. What, like it's hard? But then I did try crocheting years later, and I had difficulty with tension on that one. I think because I was used to having the 2 needles to keep the tension, and with just the 1 hook, yeah, I had a little tougher time. So yeah, I kind of gave that up. I really only use crochet now for edges on knit pieces, or sometimes to reinforce knitted stuff, like blankets that are knitted in pieces. You sew them together, but the seams are not as strong, and putting a line of crochet on the inside can help stabilize it if things start to stretch out or come apart. So yeah, because crochet is a bit firmer than crochet fabric is a bit firmer than knitted fabric. So yeah, I say both are good. You know, they have different uses. Because yeah, I had someone say which is better. So well, it depends what you want to make. You know, if you want to make garments, there's a lot more with knitting, and it has more give to it, so it's more forgiving. But if you want to make something like, say, stuffed animals, you can make knitted ones. I have, but the crochet ones, they hold their shape better, that's for sure. Oh, that was Kiddo dropped his mouse across the room. Sorry for the background noise. Yeah, I was waiting to film until my dishwasher had finished running, so it would be a bit quieter, but you know, what can you do? I'm not in the house alone, so. Yeah, so my husband's aunt, her luggage turned up, so yay! Yeah, the airline had misplaced it, but yeah, thankfully it showed up again, so. Yeah, they said the majority of luggage is found. It's pretty rare that they can't eventually get it back to you, even if it is a hassle. My husband had a suitcase go astray during a business trip, and yeah, took them about 3 days to locate it and get it to him, but he did get it back. And yeah, they gave him like vouchers he could use to go buy spare clothes, since of course all his clothes were in the suitcase. So yeah. Ooh. Oh, pardon me. But yeah, they will be, because my in-laws live in the next province and she flew there, so they're visiting for a bit and then they're going to drive out here to visit us for a few days, and then also to see my brother-in-law and his family. They live a couple hours away from us, so yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, so it's kind of my husband's aunt has not been in Canada before, so yeah, this is a brand new experience for her. Yeah, my husband's grandparents did come to Canada for a visit a few times. This was before I met them, as they had passed away by the time my husband and I met. But yeah. Yeah, and a few years ago, this is pre-pandemic, so yeah, a while ago, my husband's parents and a few of their grown kids went with them back to Hungary to see people, so yeah. They hadn't been back there since they'd left in the 80s, I believe. Yeah, they invited us to go along too, but I mean, yeah, we just could not get the time off work for that. I think my husband had started his job not long before, so, you know, taking 3 weeks off to go out of the country is, yeah, not really something they're going to let you do right away. So, yeah, like I said, trying to learn the language a bit, but I'm not very good at it. But yeah, like I said, I studied French for years, and I'm not great at that either, so I just don't have a brain for language, I think. I couldn't do computer programming language either. Yeah. I tried taking class when I was in grade 11, I think, because, well, you know, they were saying lots of career opportunities in fixing computers and stuff, so I thought, well, I'll give it a try, but yeah, I could not wrap my head around it. Yeah, that's my husband's area of expertise. Our son may go into something similar too. He's done some courses at school and seems to have the knack for it, so he definitely did not get that from me. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny seeing what different things get passed down to your kids and what don't. My kiddo's a pretty good cook naturally, and yeah, that he got from me. Yeah, my dad is. I'm pretty good if I say so myself, and yeah. Yeah, my son's pretty good too, so. Pardon me. So yeah, just kind of splitting this here because I gotta kind of cut it off somewhere. So just gonna sort of try to fill in this all down to the bottom of this horizontal pass. And then yeah, we'll see how much progress I make next month. Like I said, since we have family visiting, and then I have to deal with my apple harvest, so I won't have as much time for stitching. I will try to get some videos made for you all, but we will see. If I'm not able to keep my normal schedule, I will make a post about it, but I will try to at least get the videos made for you, even if I don't get quite as much stitching done in between them. Because yeah, usually I get a fair amount done between each video, but I may not this time. It all depends. Yeah. Depends how many apples I get to, since like I said, the tree broke again. And when it did, the apples were not ripe on the portion that had broken off, so they had to be chucked. So yeah. There's still quite a lot. There's always a lot, but except for 2020, yeah. And then 1 year before that, when we had tons of caterpillars and they chewed the heck out of my poor tree. Which meant they chewed up all the flowering bits that, become the fruit, so they didn't get a chance to take hold. Yeah, my husband actually, he sprayed it down with some soapy water solution, so it discourages them from being on the tree, but it doesn't harm them. And yeah, it was awful. There was like a big ton of, it looked like cobwebs on the back from all their silk trails. Yeah, I was like, ooh, I'm not walking through that, nasty. Yeah, I don't know when we're going to get them back. They sort of cycle every few years like cicadas. You don't see them at all for years, and then they're everywhere 1 year, and then they go back to hibernation for a while. So, all right, so I may follow this diagonal, or I may keep going down more straight. I think what I'm going to do, though, is go over left, fill in some, and then sort of see how far over to the right I want to go. Just sort of play it by ear. I do try to get all the stuff that's furthest left done first, because yeah, then I can move my frame when I need to, when that's done. So I don't like to reach as far with my top arm there. It gets uncomfortable. Okay, so yeah, go over to this square here and start filling all this in. There's quite a few threads parked here, as you can see. I'm thinking end of October is when I'm going to finally hit a quarter done on this. There we go. Oh, what is going on here? Something is not right. Did I grab the wrong thread? Let's grab another needle and try to see what I did wrong. Oh, what happened there? Oh, there's an end or something coming through? Oh no, there we go. Okay. Was the end of this thread wasn't free of the hole. It was sticking up there because I hadn't pulled the needle far down enough. So that's what happened. Okay. Got it all sorted out. So yeah, I said I was converting this back, and you can see I have one stitch here at the bottom that's out of order. But I filled in everything else. So for a while it was kind of a closing in shape, almost like a, I don't know, a less than sign. Yeah. I still have to remember which one is which by, we had the crocodile eats the bigger number. Yeah, that's how my teacher taught us, and it's still how I remember it. Yeah, so we'll see, like I said, less time to stitch next month, but there's a fair bit of sky and not as many colors, so there's that too. So those two factors may balance each other out. It all depends. Did not get as much done on Firefly this month. That is too fuzzy. Yeah, this is a little bit more of his wing. It's the where it turns into the white. But I didn't yet stitch that sloping that way, and I'm not sure whether I will or not. It's not a huge curve, it's just a few rows, so sometimes then I don't really follow the curve, but when it's a curve that goes sort of over many rows, then I often do, because yeah, it's just easier that way. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. There might be a knot back there. Let's take a look. Nope. Good. Thankfully, it is not. Oh, there must be a storm coming. It's my son's storm tracker going off there. Sorry about that, y'all. Hasn't gone off in quite a while, actually. But yeah, guessing we're in for a rainstorm or a thunderstorm or something like that. Yeah, our neighbor actually gave that to us. He was cleaning out his attic, and he knew our son is interested in weather patterns and stuff, so said, hey, would he like it? So yeah, he and his dad actually built a bit of a antenna for it so it would detect better. So yeah. But yeah, I think that thing hasn't gone off in weeks, actually. So apologize if that was really jarring to y'all. Oh, look at that. I colored that in, or stitched it, but my thumb missed selecting it. Oops. Two, three, four, five. Okay. I said to more white and ecru, but I guess I lied. There's a little bit left. not a lot. Hopefully you can see it well enough when I stitch it. No, knots again. Okay. 8, 2, 8, which I don't think I have out. Nope. Okay, so like I said, as you can see, when I don't follow the way the colors are curving, it does involve more color changes more often, which is why I'm leaving fewer of these needles on the threads. Yeah, when I have to change this many colors, then I find that actually costs me more time than it saves, because trying to pull them out without unthreading them again, yeah, becomes more work than just rethreading it when I need it again. Oh well. Usually, of course, now that I said that, I'm struggling with rethreading this one, right? Okay. Yeah, so we'll see if next month, if we reach the far edge or not. Although, yeah, with those other things I have going on, probably not. If I didn't and I was able to devote my usual amount of time to stitching, then probably I would, but yeah. Yeah, it's hard to say because this is, right here is like line 230, and the middle is, let's see where my center mark is. Yeah, the middle is around 275, right? So yeah, not quite halfway. So yeah, that may be not feasible even if I wasn't doing making apple juice and visiting with people. We shall see. But yeah, like I've often said, no deadline. It will get done when it gets done. It's not like I'm gonna run out of stuff to do. Yeah, so my next project I have planned is Deer Creek by Donna Gelsinger from Heaven and Earth Designs. That's a smaller one. Smaller. It's only 200,000 stitches. Yeah, I think it's the smallest one I have for full coverage now, since I finished Majora's Mask, which was 48,000. I think the rest of these are all 300,000 or more, thereabouts. Oh dear. Pardon me. Try to actually park that in the correct spot and not pierce the fabric. Tuck those away for now. I may fill in a bit more. I may fill in up to this grid line, or I may not. I haven't decided yet. I mean, I will eventually, but that may be something for next session. I am happy with the progress I've made. Yeah, these 2 stitches are all I'm going to get out of this one. I think I can get this one last stitch here with this strand before I need to tie it off, which course works out nicely considering that that is where I'm cutting it off. So okay, do those as well. This piece is just long enough for that. Oh, darn it. In the act of smoothing out my thread, I pulled out one of the strands. Hard to make a loop start if you don't have a loop. Yeah, so this is how I do it when I'm not following the curve and it goes sort of the opposite way. That was a bit tangled, so just unthread that and try it again. I find that tends to happen more at the bottom since there's not as much room for all the threads, so There's more of it sort of bunched up there. But not too bad. Oh, look at that. She says as she catches other threads there. Let's try that again. Yeah, I don't want to be sewing the other ones in. That would look weird. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this one is just long enough to do this stitch. Perfect. That meant I didn't have to add another one. Oh, there we go. And there's something very satisfying about reaching the bottom edge there. Okay. I wonder how long before I reach my first 0 on this pattern. Be a while, I think. Yeah, we're less than a quarter in, so you usually don't reach any until at least the 50% mark. We're not going to reach that before the end of the year, so. Trying not to have too many needles in one place. So that means generally trying to fill in the stuff that is further left first. blue pin stitch ended up being a little bit more visible than I like, but I think it should be fine. It's a pale enough color that it won't show through when I stitch over it, or at least it shouldn't. Haven't used this color in a while. There was a lot of it, that garden wall on the right-hand side. Not so much over on this part of the design. Oh dear. Oh, pardon me. I was up a bit late last night, so. And then I find, yeah, when it's gloomier outside, I feel more tired. Yeah, I saw a meme saying, you know, I like to think I'm so sentient and all that, but I swear I'm just a big house plant with feelings because, yeah, the sun affects me so much. Okay. So I ended some threads, but then I'm going to be adding a bunch more as the color scheme kind of changes here. Nope, that is not the correct spot. That is the correct spot, yeah. As soon as I put my needle in, I realized I shouldn't be touching those parked threads, so I had miscounted something. Okay, let's see whether I want to fill in more or just cut it off there, kind of artificially. Okay, let's take a look here. Yeah, because I don't want to leave too sharp of a line there. So I may just start another thread sort of right here. Yeah. Yeah, I've had people say they like to guess where I'm going to go next, but even I don't know a lot of times. Okay. Yeah, so I probably won't fill it in all the way up to this grid line. I'll sort of keep it sloping a little bit. Not very diagonal, just sort of slightly diagonal. Oh, that will not work. One strand out of the two there. I hate when that happens. There we go. Oops, dropped my needle in my lap. Have to make sure I pick that up. Could be in for quite a rude shock there if I don't. Okay, so now I can do another of that color. So yeah, I'm gonna cut it off about sort of halfway across that big square. look at that. I've done 3, 3, 3. Not all in this session, but hey, but today so far. But of course I'm about to change that. I thought I would have left that one threaded, but I guess not. I guess it was going to be a while till I got back to it, so I didn't. Okay. Yeah, so I think we'll fill up to this grid line here, and that's where I'm gonna cut it off. Up to the grid line or thereabouts. Goodness. Not even half a stitch in it. already misbehaving on me. Stand is being very wobbly today. I mean, it always is, but it seems more than usual. I don't know. Maybe it's just me imagining things. Mm. Mm. There it goes again. Okay. Yeah, so we'll finish filling this bit in, and then that's where I'm going to take a break for today, I think. That means I still have to add a couple more threads. It's getting to be more colors this area than there were before. Okay. Worth it in the end for the detail. If it does kind of slow me down a bit. Yeah, plus I'm starting to get a little stiff from sitting for so long, so it'll be time to get up and move around for a bit. Get the circulation going. Oh, that is the wrong thread. Yeah. It's the one next to the thread I actually want. Goodness, there we go. Try not to mix those up again. These colors are quite similar when they're next to each other, so to make sure I'm grabbing the right one. That's why I always park in the upper right of the next stitch that I'll be using. Oh, trying to mark one as done, not erase one. Okay, one last thread to add. Okay. Just trying to decide whether I wanted to park this up or down, but honestly, it's actually too short to even bother parking anywhere, so it is a moot point. So yeah, that will wrap things up for today. 375, although I haven't pressed. So 377, but I didn't start at 100. I started like just under 150, I think. So yeah, but still pretty good progress. Got sort of all this filled in. So quite happy with that. And as usual, thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope to see you here again another time. All right, thanks everyone. Bye.